where to start, what to do, how to find something to say that is meaningful and thoughtful and representative of us and how we feel and is beneficial and useful to the people that we're trying to communicate with, but also doing all of that while still keeping it manageable and easy to sustain. It's a lot. There's a lot that goes into that. There are a lot of tools that can help us to be able to create content and do it in a way that is a lot less stressful than we might have imagined. But the two that I want to talk about today. Okay, so I'm already off to a much better start today because yesterday when I filmed the last video for the podcast, I spilled my coffee on my lap twice, both while getting over to the studio and getting set up for filming this. The first time it happened, I blamed the cup, and the second time it happened, I had no one to blame but myself. If nothing else is improving so far in 2024, at least I haven't spilled my coffee on myself, but the night is young. Today, I want to talk about getting over the fear of making social media content. And I know that when I call it a fear, that's probably not how most people look at it. It's more of an intimidation. It's more of a confusion about where to start, what to do, how to find something to say that is meaningful and thoughtful and representative of us and how we feel and is beneficial and useful to the people that we're trying to communicate with, but also doing all of that while still keeping it manageable and easy to sustain. It's a lot. There's a lot that goes into that. I think one of the best parts about doing what we do in 2024 is there are a lot of tools that can help us to be able to create content and do it in a way that is a lot less stressful than we might have imagined. But the two that I want to talk about today, teleprompters and Descript, which is a piece of software. So let's start with teleprompters. Before I reformatted this podcast to be more off the cuff and just me talking into the camera without any script or anything, I used a teleprompter for all of the earlier episodes and for a lot of the course material that I make and for, I'd say, maybe half of the reels that I would make. And the reason was because I have a fear of public speaking. If you know me personally or you've seen some of my content, that might be a bit of a shock because I'm always out, talking and doing the public speaking thing, right? But the specific fear that I have with it is that I don't want to sound dumb. I don't want to sound inarticulate. And one of the beautiful things, and I think this is maybe a crutch of mine, if I'm honest about it. One of the beautiful things about doing full group classes or one-on-one conversations or lessons is the fact that I can have the entire context of that event, right? Whether it's a class or a coaching session or a lesson or whatever, I have the entire context, that entire hour, 2 hours, 30 minutes, whatever it is, to be able to set the stage for what I want to say. And I am able to build upon the context that I create over the course of that session. So even if I don't express myself perfectly clearly, there's enough context already during that session that the people that are talking to me or listening to me can get the idea. But that's not how it works on social media because a lot of the people that are finding my videos don't know me. And there isn't a context that has been developed and presented already. They're coming from another video, from another profile, from going to the bathroom, I don't know, whatever they're doing. So they don't have that full context. So what I say needs to make sense and matter and also keep their attention and all of the things that we need to do in a social media post. And that's where the teleprompter comes into play for me because it enables me to think about what I want to say, craft how I want to say it, rearrange the order in which I say things so that way it's going to make the most sense for the platform. The problem is it's very inefficient. If I already have something that I want to say, great, I can do that. But if I don't know what I want to say yet, the actual writing process, the scripting process, for me at least, takes quite a while. If I wanted to write the script for a 45-second video, it might take me an hour to write that. So it's definitely not the most efficient way of doing things. Because of that, I've been using the teleprompter a lot less frequently. I still will use it when I have something specific that I want to say, like if I'm making an ad, for example, if I'm filming an ad and I really want to make sure that the copy is spot on, yeah, I'll use the teleprompter there because I don't want to improvise that. For things like this podcast, I want to record myself being more candid because it's a lot more efficient. But if I just hit record and start talking and I don't do any editing to it, then it becomes very ineffective. It might be efficient, but it's ineffective. And the more editing that I have to do to it manually, the more effective it becomes, but the less efficient it becomes. So there's always this kind of sliding scale of, is it going to be effective or is it going to be efficient? And the second tool or method that I wanted to talk about today is what I think has helped me to find the best happy medium, the best of both worlds for me. It's a video editing app called Descript. What it does is takes the video or audio that you import into it, and it will transcribe all of the dialogue from that video or audio source, which is not that crazy, right? But what it does and what it does really well is it takes that transcription, puts it into a word processor text box. And if you delete or move anything in that text, it makes those corresponding changes to the video itself. And that is a game changer. It has been a game changer for me for like a year now, because what it enables me to do is to just talk candidly off the cuff. I can ramble for a bit without the intimidation of having to watch the entirety of a video and find all of the parts that I don't like and get rid of it and then rewatch it again and make sure that the context is still there. And then that process usually takes forever. I mean, probably 2 forevers when it really comes down to it. And that's one of the reasons why people don't get into making social media content, because the editing of it was such a tall hurdle to have to get over. But Descript enables it to be 10 times faster, probably more than 10 times faster. So what I'll do is what I'm doing right now for this, I will just start talking. I might know what I want to talk about generally. Sometimes I'll have some outlined notes, like I'm giving a speech and I just have some bullet points. More often than not, I'm just talking about a subject. And what I'm able to do then is when I'm done filming it, I'll drop it into Descript. I'll do the transcription. I will look through and read through it, and I'll just get rid of the parts that I don't want. And it does have some other functions like getting rid of the dead airspace between talking. You can remove filler words like that, which is really great. But an unexpected benefit of it is that it makes me aware of some habits that I have. I've noticed that I will finish a phrase and then say, so, as a way to transition and as a way to buy myself time. So I didn't try that one, but that's a perfect example of something that I see myself doing and I read myself doing a lot in the transcript. And it's making me much more conscious of that, which in turn is actually helping me with my public speaking because I'm not using as many filler words. I'm able to put sentences together a little bit more clearly. And it's actually forcing me to slow down my rate of speech, which is still pretty fast. I'll say that. But becoming aware of it in a way that I know is fixable is phenomenal, because I could watch the long version of this video that I'm filming right now if I dropped it into Final Cut or Premiere or DaVinci Resolve or whatever. If I watched the whole thing, yeah, I'd become pretty aware of the things that I'm doing. But in that situation, it usually makes me intimidated. It makes me nervous. It makes me not want to watch myself struggle. It becomes this spiral of watching myself make mistakes and use filler words and not be able to complete a thought. And then I start realizing, oh man, I'm doing that a lot. Maybe I can't do that. Oh no, I definitely can't do that. I shouldn't even try. It becomes this spiral of self-doubt and this self-fulfilling prophecy of self-doubt, telling myself that I don't know how to do this. I can't do this. Clearly, that's not a very good way to feel, right? It's not good for mental health, and it's definitely not good for the business either. Descript acts kind of like a safety net, I guess. I'm still trying to do better every time that I film. I'm still trying to be more clear, more articulate, enunciating better, using less filler words. But I know that if I do it in the moment, I can forgive myself because I know that Descript is going to do a pretty good job of helping me to fix that in a very time-efficient way. So those are the 2 big things that help me to get over my intimidation, fear, anxieties about creating content. And I'm really curious to hear if you use either of them, if you use teleprompters in your content creation, or if you've ever tried it at least, or if you use Descript or other software that will help you to make the editing process not just faster, but also less soul crushing. So thanks again for watching. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this or listen to this, and I hope to see you in the next video.